Some places don't just belong to a country, they belong to the story of humanity. Imagine a city that has breathed for 12,000 years, surviving empires, wars, and time itself, only to be swallowed by water in just a few months. Today, we are diving deep into the silence of the Tigris. Welcome to the sunken memory of Hasankeyf. This is Behind the Norms. If human history were a book, one of its oldest and most weathered pages was written in the heart of Mesopotamia, on the banks of the Tigris River. Hasankeyf. This is not just a settlement, it is a center of memory that has witnessed 12,000 years of uninterrupted life, where stone found its voice and time slowed down. Today, even though a vast portion of that memory lies beneath the waters, the story continues to echo in the depths of the river. To understand Hasankeyf, one must look beyond the buildings. One must look beneath the soil, deep into the rocks, and across the endless horizon of Mesopotamia. We are talking about a past older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge, and even most ancient cities. Here, trusting the bountiful yet wild waters of the Tigris, people carved into the limestone cliffs to create not just a shelter, but a whole world. What distinguishes Hasankeyf from all other ancient cities in the world is that it was not just built, it was sculpted. This is a massive labyrinth of nearly 6,000 caves. For thousands of years, instead of erecting structures toward the sky, people chose to move toward the heart of the earth and the stone. But why would a person choose to live in a cave for millennia? The answer lies in the geology of Hasankeyf. The local limestone is like wax in the hands of a craftsman. It is easy to work with but hardens as it meets the air, becoming a loyal material. These caves were actually the world's first smart homes. While the scorching 50-degree heat of Mesopotamia reigned outside, the interiors of these stone rooms were always cool and fresh. In winter, the rock's magnificent insulation protected life from the freezing winds. Life in Hasankeyf was a vertical hierarchy. These caves, starting from the riverbanks and rising to the castle, were neighborhoods in their own right. This cave life was so deep-rooted that some residents continue to live in these ancestral dwellings until the early 21st century. For them, this was not backwardness, but a matter of thousands of years of harmony and comfort. Hasankeyf was never just a local settlement, it was a grand stage where the world's most powerful empires performed. From the shadows of Roman legions to the artistic brilliance of the Artukids, and from the resilience of the Ayyubids to the dominance of the Ottomans, every stone here tells a story of conquest and culture. The city stood as a strategic sentinel on the Silk Road, bridging the East and the West. The most iconic symbol of this era was the Great Artukid Bridge. In its time, it was the largest articulated bridge in the world, a marvel of medieval engineering that allowed caravans to cross the treacherous waters of the Tigris. Walking through Hasankeyf was like walking through a living museum of Islamic and Roman architecture. The grand mosques, with their intricate carvings and imposing minarets, stood side by side with Roman fortifications, creating a unique skyline that survived centuries of warfare. It was a place where different religions and cultures didn't just meet, they blended into the very fabric of the city's identity. Every ancient city has its myths, but Hasankeyf's legends are etched into its very skyline. The El Rizik Mosque, with its towering minaret, is the centerpiece of these tales. Legend speaks of a fierce rivalry between a master and his apprentice during its construction. It is said that the apprentice's skill eventually surpassed his master's, leading to the famous proverb, "The horn has surpassed the ear." But the true secret of the minaret lies in its hidden double staircase system. Two people could climb to the top simultaneously without ever seeing each other. This wasn't just an architectural trick, it was a display of profound mathematical knowledge. Beyond the architecture, the city was protected by mystical symbols. The Great Gate of the citadel featured carvings of scorpions and snakes, believed to be talismans that protected the inhabitants from real-world threats. In Hasankeyf, the line between history and folklore was always thin. People didn't just live in buildings, they lived inside stories that were passed down through generations, making the stones feel alive with the breath of those who came before. As the waters of the Ilisu Dam began to rise, Hasankeyf faced an unprecedented challenge. How do you save a city's soul when its ground is about to vanish? The answer was one of the most complex engineering operations in modern history. Massive monuments, weighing hundreds of tons, had to be moved to higher ground. The tomb of Zainal Bey, a 550-year-old masterpiece of turquoise tiles and brickwork, was the first to embark on this journey. Using massive self-propelled modular transporters and a specially designed rail-like system, engineers moved these fragile structures millimeter by millimeter across the rugged terrain. It was a race against time and gravity. The Artukid Bath, the Imam Abdullah Hermitage, and the historic mosque gates followed, being relocated to the new Hasankeyf Cultural Park. While the technical success was undeniable, the sight of these ancient structures moving away from their original foundations was a bittersweet moment. It was a physical manifestation of a profound change. The monuments were saved, but the context of the land they stood upon for centuries was being lost forever. Today, the old streets of Hasankeyf lie nearly 130 meters beneath the surface of a vast lake. The markets where traders once shouted, the caves where families gathered for tea, and the ancient paths carved by Roman boots are now silent, enveloped in the cold embrace of the water. For the people who lived here, this wasn't just a loss of property, it was the erasure of their geography of memory. They now look out over a mirror-like lake that hides the world they once knew. But Hasankeyf's story doesn't end under the water. It serves as a powerful reminder of the eternal trade-off between progress and preservation. As we look at the new town perched on the hillside, we are forced to ask, what is the price of energy, and what is the value of 12,000 years of heritage? Hasankeyf is now a sunken library, its stories preserved in the silence of the deep. It remains a testament to human resilience and a haunting symbol of the things we sacrifice in our march toward the future. The Tigris still flows, and though the landscape has changed, the spirit of Hasankeyf remains, an invisible pulse beating beneath the waves. As the waves of the Tigris continue to wash over 12,000 years of history, we are left with a single question: is progress truly worth what we leave behind? If you enjoyed this journey through the sunken archives of history, don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. What is a legacy worth to you? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you behind the next norm.